Hey everybody, I'm Brianna Lentz of Educating Wildflowers. Hi, how are ya? Today is Saturday, June 11th, and I'm here to talk to you again. Podcast episode number 2, and this is the beginning of my weekly vlog, my weekly reflection. I thought it would be really cool to keep up with my progress in this journey as a homeschool mom and how my kids are doing by but sitting down every week and reflecting on my week. How did we do? How did things go? What did we learn? What did we do? What's new? Academically, emotionally, the whole 9 yards. And if I can do floss tube on my craft channel, then I can sit down and talk real talk with you guys every week. That is if my kids comply, which go ahead. I'm just talking to a camera, baby. Go on and go hang out, okay? Please. Now. Thank you. Anyway, so a lot has happened this week. A lot. I have started the Educating Wildflowers Co-op. I had been in talks with my local library about setting up a meeting, place and time for the first meeting for Educating Wildflowers Co-op, and it is legitimately happening. I have confirmed the meeting room. I have confirmed the date. I have made the flyer. They have it. It's beautiful. I will insert it somewhere here. I'm really proud of it. I really like how it turned out. I have created my Facebook group, which is Educating Wildflowers Co-op. It is for the southeastern Oklahoma region. I have also created a Educating Wildflowers Facebook page, which is separate from the co-op because I want like a major community for Educating Wildflowers, and then I want a local community for a co-op. I'm thinking about other things on the internet for the co-op as well. A lot of things to kind of work out. This morning I sat and I wrote the reasons why we chose to homeschool, and really it just kind of became like a focus based of a couple reasons why we chose to bring our kids out of public education, which you already listened to. If you haven't already, go ahead. I'll have it linked down below, and I'll have an iCard up here so you can watch or listen to podcast episode number 1. Anyway, so I did all those things, but before I could put it on the internet, that I was doing that. See, I'm really having to change the way that I think and the way that I talk, that it's not just a think, it's a do, that I am doing this. This is happening. It's not just a thinking about it. No, this is real, which is really good. So I had to first call my school and let them know that I was resigning, and let them know that I was not coming back. And I also told them neither of my kids are not coming back either. And I told them why, and they completely understood. They were very supportive. I thought that I would be losing friendships over this. I thought that I would be possibly outcasted for this decision. As wild as that may seem, it really is bucking the system. And typically in this area, if you say you're going to homeschool, it means you just neglect your kids and stick them in front of a computer and don't make sure they do their work. So the way that I'm homeschooling, they fully support, they have full confidence in me and our kids, and they just are very supportive, and they are very sad to lose our kids, because our kids were such a benefit to the school, and they're sad to lose me because I was such a benefit to the school. And I'm sad to say goodbye to a lot of those kids. I really developed a strong relationship with a lot of these kids in all different ranges, from pre-K all the way through high school. A lot of the high schoolers, I'm really sad that I didn't get to legitimately say goodbye to, so I'm hoping to see them. Some around town. We've already seen a lot of the kids around town. And so that helps my kids also transition, because they know that it's not like the last time that they're going to see their friends. They'll see them around town too. Of course, I'm drinking my coffee. Anyway, so that was a big deal. I wasn't sure how it would be accepted. I really thought I'm bucking the system again. We are not going with the social norm. We're not going with the normalcy of the area. We're going to be outcasted. And I really thought this because previous times it had happened, we haven't lived your normal life. We've been bucking the system for over a decade, from before it was cool in a way. Jason and I have been together for 11 years, and well, for a long time, probably longer than that. And when we got married and he proposed and we got married 3 days later. That wasn't normal. Still isn't normal. We had a very small wedding. That was very abnormal. We didn't invite anybody except for just a couple people. That wasn't normal. That didn't go over very well. Then we chose to move out of California. That was new. That was before everybody left California. This was a long time ago. Was it 2000? Yeah, 2013. So, it was a long time ago. And again, we did that short notice. That didn't go over well. Then, a while later, we decided to move again. And it made people uncomfortable, because it was like, why aren't these people doing what they're supposed to? Why aren't they doing what society says they're supposed to? And when we first got married, we stuck to traditional social gender roles. That was not okay. That was not okay at all. All through college, I said I wanted to be a mom. It was hard for me to pick out exactly what I wanted to do when I grew up. I'm putting quotation marks here. I wanted to be a mom. That was more important to me than any career. That was not even discussed. That was like, why don't you want more for yourself? And it's like, because that's what I want. I can go into my childhood story another time, which I would love to, but now I'm not going to do that, because that's all. We could be here for a long time. But in a lot of those things, we've lost tons of friendships because of it, because we have found that when you buck the system, you take into question how people have lived their lives or what they felt was good enough. And when you say, well, that's not good enough for me, it's not what you're saying. You're not saying it's not good enough for you. It's not good enough for me. It's just like, no, I want to live my life differently. But it brings out other people's insecurities. And when you bring out other people's insecurities, then of course they're going to possibly lash out or say, forget you. You're crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. You're impulsive, blah, blah, blah. And so I was really shocked. I really have a legitimate community here. I have people that we can depend on. We have people we can depend on. My husband's really good at keeping relationships up. And for some reason, typically when I was younger, I did a lot of things that were rebellious, I guess, in people's minds. And so in a community of women, when you don't go along with that community of women's typical frame of thinking, you'd be outcasted instantaneously. And that was typically my relationship, right? With historically, that was my relationship, was like, okay, well, you're not doing what we think you should do, so forget you. And that's not what happened. And I'm so thrilled. I'm so relieved. And since we have made this choice to homeschool, it really just feels like everything has fallen into place. It just feels, not to go too religious, but it's hard not to feel God at work. When you make a choice, you put your trust and you put your faith in what you're doing and what you think God would want you to do. And then God's kind of it feels like, I can't speak for him, obviously, but it feels like he's saying, yes, my children, you are following the path that I hoped you would. And let me continue to open these doors for you, to acknowledge I am proud of you, is what it feels like. That's how I feel like. And it's such a good feeling. I can't even describe it. To find the curriculum is all of a sudden, if you download it PDF, it can be free. It's we can financially do it without it, but it's oh my gosh, cool. So I can do that. And then I get to do all this other cool stuff. And then to financially just be getting these boosts to be like, yes, you will be able to do this. You know, you really took a leap of faith here in a lot of different ways, and it's going great. Talking to my library, not sure how that would be accepted. And they're like, yes, actually, you know, in the area there has been multiple families asking if we did a co-op, and they don't have a co-op set up. And then me saying, well, no, I will. I'm the one making it. I made the co-op. Sign me up. It's me. Okay, claimed it. And then, you know, just to have the gal that I'm talking with be so stoked about it and be so stoked about the name that we chose and all this other stuff. It's like, man, yes. Usually there's this uphill battle, and there hasn't been one. Not that there won't be one in the future, but right now there's not. And it feels amazing. You know, it just feels like, yes, we're doing the right thing, you know, and our kids are just thriving, totally thriving. Like they knew consciously at the end of the year, this was the end of the year. Like this is the decision we were making. We were homeschooling. We weren't coming back. And then to be able to share with them that these relationships are accepting and not forgiving, but they're accepting of our choices, is really good for them too. It's a very positive outlook on life for them to see. And I totally forgot this major thing happened. So I'm talking about all these things where like God has just given us these opportunities, right? To say like, hey, you know, pat on the back, good for you. I see you, kid. You're doing great things. So today's Saturday. It was, what day was it? Thursday at 1:00. My local library had this like interactive pirate thing, and it was with this person telling a story, and she had like dogs like to be part of her story. Anyway, it was really cool. So we're going, you know, I just want to go, and I think the kids would like it. So we get there and we're pulling up, and there's a school bus, and these kids are getting off the school bus, and I'm thinking, is that our local school? Is that their summer school? And lo and behold, it totally is. My kids see their teachers who work the summer school thing get out of the bus, and so they're so excited. So then we all are there, and this is after I'd already told the school, like the people that work at the school, that I had resigned and we're not coming back. So then these gals who are the teachers are also friends of mine, and I hadn't told, like I really kept this close to the chest. And it gave us this opportunity. I mean, literally it was their teachers that they just had. So their closest relationships at school are these women. And we are at this place, they have friends there that they get to see and kind of see again, knowing that it's out in the open that they're homeschooling. So they can freely tell them like, hey, we're homeschooling. And I have the opportunity to tell the gal that I'm closest with, like, hey, and she, you know, cat's out of the bag, and I tell her, and, you know, she instantly wants to start crying, which was it was beautiful to me. Like it made me feel like our family is so loved, and get to tell her straight to her face. So then my children have the opportunity then to properly say, not goodbye, because they will see them, but could just emotionally detach and emotionally get to say like, hey, now you know I won't be at school next year. I'm homeschooling. Like, oh my gosh. It was just perfect. It was just so perfect. And my daughter came home and she just took a nap, because it was just such a weight to her, weight lifted off of her, that she got to have that closure. And, you know, Jules is 5. So she got to see her best friend that's there, who's 2 grades above her, but they're like kindred spirits. And, so we really are going to try to have play dates with her, and just, and it's another relationship that didn't shun us for our choices. It was an acknowledgement of, we understand why, we have faith in you, and we will miss you, we will love you, but we are rooting for you in your process, right? Like we don't hold any grudges. I mean, as far as I know, at least that's what they said. But I truly believe that. So. Oh, and I had another, like, you know, wanting to homeschool, like, we knew we were leaving part of, like, a huge part of our community that we have here. But we're still obviously fully ingrained in that community. It's been very shown to us this past week, which is beautiful. And also with softball, like something else happened this past week where me and this mom are just sitting together, and like I want to be friends with her. Like I don't know if she wants to be friends with me. You know, I think she's cool, and our kids get along together really well. So I'm thinking like, dude, this is another gal that we can like set up play dates with, and like the mom and the dad are super like attentive to what their kids are doing, and they seem like good people. So you know, it's like, you know, when you're an adult, I don't know, and plus like all of this, like I always had so much, I had so, oh my gosh, what am I trying to say? It was easier for me to make friends when I was younger, and then when I had my kids, I had so much rejection from mothers. Like I tried so hard to not be jaded by constant rejection of not becoming friends with other moms regularly, that it was like I really had like an identity crisis for like 5 years. I'm not even kidding, but we'll go back to that. But like being fully established with who I am. And so like now I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna put myself out there, and I'm just gonna be like kind of like bug her a little bit, because I think we'd be pretty good friends. And so then I just put myself out there a little bit, and then just like casually too, like nothing major. And then at the second half of the softball game, she just starts telling me all this stuff, like confiding into me. And it was so cool, because you know, it was another way of like, you know, I'm telling my kids they'll be able to make friends outside of school, you know, with other kids. And then it's like, yeah, even mom too, you know, it's just like really cool. So, we're gonna, I don't know, it's gonna work out. And so it just felt really good. It's just another really positive thing that happened this week. If that makes any sense. Like, I don't know about, I'm just talking to the moms out there, but like, this is a whole nother topic for like a whole, like I could just talk about this by itself, but you know, like not all of us moms have these girlfriend groups that they've had for forever. And even if they did, not all of them last forever. Some of them just keep tabs on you to kind of spy on you, but like really don't want to do anything with you, but will constantly watch you from afar. Like those are the friends that I have, because I have bucked the system so much, I think, and politically we're so different. Like they all view things one way politically, still living in California and fine with it. And then there's me, where I bucked the system even when we were friends, and now like I think we're just acquaintances because we've been friends for so long. So like I'm at this point now where I am making these really positive relationships with other women, and it's feels really good. Like it's taken 10 years to really develop these good relationships with other women, and to be doing this, I mean, I'd rather be having it now at this point in my life than before, because these are the relationships that I can count on. These are the types of people that I can trust my kids to be with. And it's just kind of like it's not just kind of like, it is just this an enormous affirmation that I feel like from God telling me, you go girl, you know, I like what you're doing. I like who you are. Keep it up. And so that makes me feel really good after a lot of years of struggle of like not connecting with other women at all. So anyway, kind of all over the place again, but I think that's just part of this journey, is like we're getting to the point where we are going to be starting our curriculum in July, after my daughter has a major oral surgery, and so she's going to be down for a little while. We're all going to be down for a little while she recovers from that. And then after that, we're going to be starting so we can have a lot of flexibility in our school year. And so right now it is just all the anticipation. It's the passion. It's the, what's it going to be like? It's the, all the butterflies. It's, you know, it's just all, when you wondered if you were making the right decision for so long, and then you decide to make the decision and it's all positive, it's just, it's hard not to just be excited and be a little bit all over the place. So that's where I'm at. This is at around 20 minutes, which I think is pretty good. I mean, I'm still getting used to just talking, just filling you in. I hope that you enjoyed today's discussion. I would love to hear from you if you were able to empathize on any of the things that I talked about. If you have had similar circumstances in your life, I would love to hear about them. I'd love to connect with you. I'm going to have all of my socials linked in the description box below, to my Facebook page, to my Instagram. I'm also going to link to my Brianna Lentz stuff as well, because a lot of this content is, one, it's going to be on briannalentz.com/educating wildflowers, and then also I have a bunch of videos on my other channel that you might be interested in. So thank you again. I appreciate your time, and I will see you guys in the next video.